Welcome to the Rick Fuller Podcast, presented by Rick Fuller, the team leader of the Rick Fuller team, which serves the San Francisco Bay Area and Sacramento County. Rick and his team have almost 1,000 five-star online reviews and have been honored as a distinguished small business by the California State Senate and Assembly. Rick is a community leader, national real estate coach, and real estate investing expert. I'm Christina Morales, a writer and marketing specialist, and today we're going to talk about the California Great Migration, how to move to the Greater Sacramento region. And I'm so excited. We have two very special guests with us today. They're both a part of the Rick Fuller team. We have buyer specialist Meaghan Costanza and listing specialist Jim Fuller. Meaghan lives in Lincoln and Jim lives in Elk Grove. They've both made the Great Migration. They both know the area well. And so welcome to our program. And we're so excited to have you both here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Rick, I always like to start it off with you. How do you know Jim and Meaghan, and what can you tell us about these awesome agents?
Well, thanks, Christina. They are the best of the best. We love having them on the team. Meaghan's actually been on the team for several years and has served lots of people throughout the Greater Sacramento region, from Elk Grove all the way up to Lincoln and Roseville and Folsom and everywhere in between. And she's one of our leads. And so she leads a lot of our new agents and does just a phenomenal job. And of course, we wanted Meaghan on the call because Meaghan's actually made that migration herself from the Bay Area to now going to Lincoln. And so she gets it. She understands all that the communities have to offer and all the dynamics associated with moving from one location to the next. And so we couldn't ask for a better fit than to have Meaghan talk about how she's helping so many of our buyers find the right home at a great price and navigating this challenging market. So Meaghan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We also have Jim Fuller, and if you recognize, we've got the same last name. And that's by no mistake or no accident. Jim and I are actually cousins. And so I've known Jim my entire life, and Jim has decades of customer service experience. And we've worked together helping and serve several clients already. Jim is very knowledgeable about all things real estate, the market, and he focuses on serving our sellers, those homeowners that are selling the home. That's his area of expertise. He tries to get them the highest possible price in the least amount of time with minimal inconvenience. And that's the world that he operates in. He too has made the migration from the Bay Area now to Elk Grove and serving our clients throughout the Greater Sacramento region. So I can't think of a better person to talk about how we're helping homeowners get that highest possible price than Jim. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
So I want to start with you, Meaghan. Meaghan is my agent. My family is personally trying to make the Great Migration. We're in the process. And Meaghan's my friend, and she is phenomenal. Both Jim and Meaghan are the best. And so, Meaghan, we were looking at new build homes, and last month we went together. We had a blast. But the market is crazy hot right now. Can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect when looking for a home in the Greater Sacramento region?
So right now the market is very, very competitive for buyers. I think it's the lowest inventory we've had in, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 years, what we're looking at. Most properties are selling 5 to 10% over list price. And so you need somebody who is confident, who knows how to write a great offer, who knows how to explain to you what all of your options are, who has really great relationships with a variety of lenders to get you the best loan possible, and somebody who's keeping tabs on what's happening with the market at all times. So right now, buyers can expect to, need to work on maybe having a little bit of patience, a little bit of perseverance, and we'll find you a house.
That's great advice. And Jim, as a listing specialist, and the market is so hot, we've talked about prepping houses in the past, Rick. What does somebody need to do in this market to prep their house for sale?
Yeah, that's a great question, Christina. Most people think that a new roof or a new fence or really high ticket items are what's going to help prepare their house for the market. But there's several things that you can do, but I think three things are the most important that you could do. Those three things are curb appeal. You drive up to the property, it's the first thing that a new buyer is going to see. You want to have a nice mowed yard, get rid of dead plants, make sure you have a nice fresh exterior. And then when you walk into the home, you want a fresh interior paint. If you've ever bought like a new car, you get that new car smell. Same thing with the house. You walk in the house, you get that nice fresh paint smell. You see nice fresh clean walls. It's really going to make a huge impact on your buyers. And then my personal favorite is the deminimization and the depersonalization of the home. Things like only having one small appliance on the kitchen countertops, like a coffee maker or like a toaster oven. It really opens up the kitchen, makes it not look so cluttered. Also removing photographs from the walls and then cleaning off the fridge, taking down the kids, the hand-drawn pictures or the calendars. It really opens up and increases the perception of space in the room. It also looks comfortable and livable. You want your buyer to visualize themselves in the home and not you living in the home.
That's great advice. I have a lot of work to do. I mean, my husband has a lot of work to do. And so, Rick, we've titled this episode The California Great Migration, and we've worked a lot on this title. Why are Bay Area residents looking to move up north, and how are the current market conditions impacting the transition of these residents?
Well, we've talked so much about it, Christina. We decided to put our thoughts to paper and wrote a book called The Great Migration. What's happening here in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and this move, this eastbound move. You remember in your high school textbooks, and you used to be a teacher, a school teacher, Christina, we talked about the Great Migration, which was everybody moving west, right? They moved west for the gold rush, the Dust Bowl, from Oklahoma, from Texas to the Bay Area and to the West Coast. Today, we are seeing an eastbound move. We're seeing a U-turn and people moving from the San Francisco Bay Area, and the first destination they stop out is the East Bay. Matter of fact, the number one buyer of Bay Area homes are those that are in the San Francisco area. A study came out just this week that 649% increase in the number of people moving out of the city of San Francisco, moving to the suburbs. And so people move urban to suburban. That's their first stop. The second destination is they move from suburban space, like the East Bay and various communities, and they move to the Greater Sacramento region. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about the city of Sacramento. We define this as a Greater Sacramento region, stretching likely from Elk Grove all the way up to Roseville, Lincoln. We move even into the Sacramento County, into Folsom, Placerville. There is no greater destination of Bay Area residents than that Greater Sacramento region. And it's no surprise why. I mean, it's a beautiful area. Meaghan accurately talked about there's very little inventory. And she's absolutely right. And what is available tends to be new construction, new homes. And so people are making the move so they can get into a newer home. And there's a lot more new construction occurring in the Greater Sacramento region than San Francisco today, for example. They're also moving for schools. They like newer schools. And they like the new amenities, the newer shopping centers, the newer parks. Certainly walkability is a huge factor in the Sacramento region. And so they're making this migration, and COVID has really expedited this because people don't need to work from the city that they don't need to live in the city they work in. They can move and they can jump on Zoom, they can work remotely. And so they're picking locations that are typically at a lesser price and that have greater amenities. And they really get the best of both worlds when they move to the Sacramento Elk Grove region. It's why we opened up multiple offices out there so that we could better serve our clients, not with agents that are in the Bay Area, but you have Meaghan that lives in Lincoln, you have Jimmy that works and lives right there in Elk Grove. They know that market because they live there, they know that community. And so we can help our clients that are making the move both on selling their property and finding a replacement property in that community.
Mm-hmm. That's great information. And Meaghan, this question's for you. We've been talking about inventory. And in fact, Rick, you just posted a stat that says we have 3 months worth of inventory on the market. A normal market would have 6 months. And so there's a lot of new build communities popping up in the Sacramento area. Rick, I think you said there was about 200, I've heard you say in the past. And so Meaghan, you were helping me with new builds, and I was like, I gotta ask you questions. You helped me immensely. You asked questions I didn't know to ask. So can you share some of your experience to our viewers? Do we still need representation when going to new build homes? And what questions should we be asking?
Sure, you absolutely need representation. The sales agent in the office of a new build, their fiduciary duty is to the builder, not to you. And so you want somebody there to represent you who has your best interest at heart. And so as your agent, that's what I'm there to do, to help you, to protect you, to make sure everything's tracking in your transaction, answer any questions you might have. But new builds work, a little bit differently than resale. They take longer, obviously. And there's a lot of different things that go into any new build. You've got lot premiums, you've got mellow roofs, which are typically a lot higher on new construction than any resale. We want to know what's going to be built in that field next to this new development. Is it going to be another development, or is it protected lands? How many homes do you release every week or two? So new construction, you still want that representation. You still want somebody fighting for you in your corner during that period. And a lot of new builds, a lot of buyers have shifted to new builds. Maybe they started out initially thinking that they wanted resale, but realized inventory was so tight. And what they were able to do was move over to new construction. And they were able to lock in a price that maybe, you're going to close 6 to 9 months later on. And at that point, you already have equity built into your property, which is a major bonus, especially in this market. Also, lumber has almost doubled in price. And so that is really fueling an increase in new construction costs. But again, locking in that price, it protects you, pads that for you. So do you need representation on new construction? Absolutely.
And Meaghan, you're also, you just bought a new build home and you are having it built right now. So I love that you are going from start to finish. How has that process been for you?
That process has been not without its bumps in the road. I think as a buyer in this market, whether you're looking at resale or new construction, you kind of need to be flexible. And so things have come up. There's been shortages with windows, appliances, back to the lumber again. So it's just being patient, asking the right questions, and flexible. And so that's been our experience. We've had a couple of delays. I had a sliding glass door set us back another month. So that was a little bit frustrating, but we're making it happen. And I'm looking forward to that built-in equity that I'll be looking at in my house too.
Excellent. And Jim, this question's for you. You're a listing specialist. You've gone into contract during COVID. Like we've had a year of a unique season. We'll just put it nicely. And so how do you list a home during COVID and COVID restrictions? You have to be extremely cautious with showings, interacting with clients. What do open houses look like? Can you tell us a little bit about that process?
Yeah, certainly, Christina. Open houses, that's funny. Due to COVID, open houses as we knew them don't really exist anymore. We want to reduce, the exposure, not only to ourselves, but more importantly, our clients and our customers, and just keep everybody safe. But we also still want buyers to view the home. We do that now through scheduled showings, usually like 15-minute intervals. And then everybody signs a property entry disclosure form. This ensures that no one has had any known exposure to COVID. And then we like to market a little bit differently too. We use like 10 days of showings before we review offers, normally listed on a Friday. and then run it that entire week. That gives us 2 weekends for ideal market exposure. I'm sure you've heard like a neighbor or somebody come bragging to you, oh, I sold my house in 1 or 2 days with a cash offer and this and that. They may have left money on the table because there simply was not enough exposure to the market. Not enough of the market even had a chance to see it. And then another thing we do a little bit differently too, we use professional photographers and videographers. I know you've probably seen our stuff on the Rick Fuller site. Those videos and the aerial shots, they look amazing. It's just a few of the many things we do to help market our clients' homes.
Hey, Rick, I need to have you do the Rick Fuller fist pump because Jim is doing awesome. He's amazing. So, Rick, we talked about this in the team meeting, but I would love for you to talk to clients about this. We've had a lot of questions. Is the market going to crash like in 2008? And you're the real estate expert here. I would love for you to go into this and give buyers and sellers some truth. There's a lot of noise out there, but I would love for you to tell the truth of what's going on in the market.
Well, Christina, I'm thinking back to what both Jimmy and Meaghan said. Meaghan said there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of demand for real estate. And on one side, it's very true that causes frustrations and it causes delays and it causes headaches. And that's just being real and transparent. On the other side, Meaghan said, and I'm getting equity built in. Like I secured a price. They take several months to build my home and I'm building equity. Now we fast forward that and this market continues to remain the same. Prices will continue to rise. And those that bought today will benefit from that in a year from now. And those that wait a year, they just kind of put the decision on the back burner. They're on the fence. Should I wait? Should I wait for the market to change? They will be paying higher prices. And what that really looks like today is maybe it's not, you don't pay a higher price, but you get a little less for your money. Maybe now you can afford a 4-bedroom, 3-bath brand new home. But in a year from now, maybe you can only afford a 3-bedroom. And in 2 years from now, maybe it's a townhome, and maybe 4 years from now, it's a condo. And so what we know about the market is the same reason that creates challenges and frustrations, which are real and transparent, and that's honestly the way that it can be, produces incredible financial security for a buyer. Now we look at this market compared to 2008, could not be more different. Do you remember the pick a payment loan program? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The negative amortization. Like pick which payment you want. You can pay a payment that doesn't even make your full payment. Shouldn't even be called a payment. Then you had a partial payment. Then you had a full payment. Then maybe you had a 15-year fix. Those options are gone. There is no more pick a payment programs. You remember back in the day, we used to have these ARM mortgages. And literally you'd give up your left arm to get an ARM mortgage. And people were there are no more ARM mortgages anymore. We don't see that. We see 30-year fixed, we see 15-year, we see some FHA and some VA, but we don't see the adjustable rate. Remember when it was 2-year fixed and 28 years adjustable? It's like you don't even have the last box unloaded and your mortgage payments going up. That doesn't exist today. The market has so much equity built into it. There's a study out that just last year, over the course of the year, billions of dollars of equity were created by homeowners. That's why we have no short sales, because short sale, the very nature of it is you're short. Is the bank, you owe the bank more than what the property is worth. And today values have risen so much that you have very few short sales and very few bank-owned homes. That is fundamentally different in 2008. In 2008, the entire market was saturated with what we call distressed properties, short sales and bank-owned homes. And so the market could not be any more different. Today, interest rates are at a historic low, which brings value to homeowners, those homeowners that Jimmy's working with, that when he market and advertises the property, homeowners get a higher price because there are more buyers that can afford their home because of the low interest rates. The clients that Meaghan's working with, they're buying a home and often they're able to get a property at a higher purchase price than they normally could afford just because the interest rates are so low. And even with the fluctuation of mortgage rates, they're still historically low. And a lot of the clients I've been working with, they say, Rick, I've been doing this 30-year fixed mortgage for a long time. with low interest rates, maybe I should switch to a 15-year fixed. And they are dropping, no exaggerations, hundreds of thousands of dollars off the life of their mortgage, and they own it free and clear. In 15 years, they own the house free and clear. Think about what that means for funding kids' college education. Think about what that means for funding your retirement options, or just having some extra money coming in. And think about what that means for families that were once concerned about a foreclosure, and you own a home free and clear. Last time I checked, 100% of the homes that foreclosed had a mortgage. And so it's a great opportunity for people to invest in real estate. Real estate was never designed to be a short-term investment. It wasn't designed to be, this is why you don't have day traders in real estate. They don't exist, because real estate fundamentally is a long-term investment. Buy it, hold it. Don't just be a real estate speculator or even a spectator. Be a real estate investor, or even better yet, be a real estate collector. You know, when we were kids, we'd play with our, the Hot Wheel cards or the baseball cards. We were collectors. Well, you could do that today as an adult, not with Hot Wheels or baseball cards, but you can do that with real estate. You can own real estate and have a collection of real estate. And those that I see that win with real estate, they move from what I call real estate, they're spectators. They're watching from the balcony seats with their binoculars and trying to guess what the market's going to do. Is it going to crash? Is it going to keep going? What's going to happen? Then you got a few of them that are speculators, and they're really guessing. They're like armchair quarterbacks, saying, this is what the quarterback ought to do. This is what the running back ought to do. They're armchair quarterbacks, and they're speculators. But then you got a few people that are on the field actually playing the game. Those are real estate investors. And those that play it best, they become collectors of real estate. And they own properties that they live in. They own properties that they rent. They own properties that are short-term rentals like VRBO and Airbnb. And that is such a phenomenal difference in compared to what the previous market was. You can't even compare the two. And I was around in both. I'm here today out serving our clients. And I was there when the market fundamentally crashed and homes were worth 35% of what they once were. I've seen the difference, and this market could not be more different than what we've seen in a past real estate market crash.
That's great information. Thank you, Rick. Puts my mind at ease. So thank you. Meaghan, let's kind of start at the beginning. If somebody's in the Bay Area and they're thinking, I want to move up north, I don't know where, how do they find a community? Where do they start the process? What does the process look like?
Sure. One of the best things you can do is download our ebook, The Great Migration. And then what you can do is you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to our concierge department, who's fantastic. And what they're going to do, and what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about what your plans are, what you're looking to do. And then we're going to come up with a plan. How do we get you up here? What's the loan situation look like? Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Where do you work? What's your commute like? And so we can really kind of tailor a plan for you and start that process and get you out here.
Awesome.
I think Meaghan's actually featured in the book, Great Migration, if my memory serves correctly. I think there's a video that you can click on. And that book, we're not selling that book. It's free. It's a free download. It's a resource. I think of it as like a public service announcement. There's a massive migration. How do we help you? How do we put you in the right hands so that you don't walk into a new home construction and you're all by yourself? And the person has the name badge of the new home and you're trying to navigate this and you haven't bought a home in 5, 7, 10, 15 years. So you get connected with somebody like Meaghan. Or you need to sell your property as a result, and we get you connected with Jimmy, and Jimmy goes out there and gets you an accurate opinion. It's not a zestimate, or what I like to call a guesstimate, where they're just guessing at the value. Jim can give you an accurate opinion of value and how to prepare the home for sale and how long it's going to take. Together, we work to make sure that you transition from one home smoothly. And Christina, we've done that because we believe that the move is it's unforgettable. Nobody ever forgets their last move. And our goal and everything we do is designed to give our clients the kind of experience they're excited to tell a friend about. And That's the heartbeat behind our team. That's the heartbeat behind what we do, because it's unforgettable. It's not just unforgettable for the buyer or for the homeowner selling, but for their kids. Today, we live in multi-generational homes, maybe aunts and uncles or grandma and grandpas or family members that are living there or nobody ever forgets the last move. Everybody remembers it. I'm sure the people listening to this remember their last move and when they moved last time. You never forget it. We just believe if it's that memorable and you'll never forget it, shouldn't you have a great experience? It's not like you're going to do this every year. It's not like you're going to visit this like you visit the local McDonald's. I mean, you're going to move every 5 to 7 years. You deserve to have a great buying and selling experience.
And Rick, you and I put the book together, and since I'm trying to make the Great Migration, I did it as a client where I went and I researched all the cities up there from Folsom, Roseville, Rockland, etc. And so I wanted all the information I wanted to know in that book. So, I mean, it's really our heart is to help people do this. And we came at it from a client's point of view, so that way it could be extremely valuable.
And we talked to Meaghan about her experience, but I think we talked to several others too, and about why they made the move from the Bay Area to the Greater Sacramento region. What were there? Why did they make the move? It's a lot to move your family, and a lot of people are doing it. It's the #1 destination of Bay Area residents is that Greater Sacramento region. And having the ebook as a guide, it's not going to help you buy or sell a home. It'll give you the insights that you need so that if you feel comfortable with the move, then we connect you to Meaghan or Jimmy and we begin the process.
And Rick, you also helped my parents and my sister and brother-in-law make the move. So, I'll vouch for you. He's awesome. And so Jimmy, personal question. When you guys were little boys, who was better at Monopoly?
I don't think we played Monopoly. We're playing Uno and ping pong quite a bit. So,
or maybe dominoes or hillbilly.
Dominoes, yep.
Yeah, those would have been, yeah.
Okay, so the competition continues now, right?
But I did play Monopoly with my kids, and now they don't even want to say the word Monopoly in the house.
I can't find anybody to play with me.
Bring up that game. I think it had to do with I negotiated all their properties. So you know how you get a chance to negotiate. So I took all their properties, and I left them with $1. And they were like, "Dad, this is embarrassing." I did it to myself. Now they don't even want to play the game with me anymore.
It's kind of like playing basketball with Michael Jordan. It's kind of like an unfair advantage. And you know me, I don't do sports analogies.
And you know, I gave you the analogy of the real estate collector. Like that's what you do on the Monopoly game. You own it all. Then you put houses on it and you put hotels. And you know, if you're willing to bend the rules, you put multiple hotels and they're encroaching on the neighbors' parcels.
Hey, we're getting comments. Charlene Fuller says Jimmy won at Monopoly all the time.
Oh, very cool.
So I just had to chime that in. But we'll get back on track. Jim, you're part of the Rick Fuller team. How does being a part of a team make you a better agent? How does it help you serve your clients better?
You know, this has been awesome. You know, the Rick Fuller team is really unique to the industry. You know, we have the listing specialists such as myself, buying specialists like Meaghan. It really gives clients the opportunity to have the best specialist for the purpose in which they contacted us. A perfect example is if you needed glasses, you know, you're not going to go to the podiatrist. You're going to go to the optometrist, right? Even though they have the similar training, they're both doctors. You know, they're specialists in their field. They're good at what they do. The Rick Fuller team uses that same principle. Legally, I can help a buyer, but that's not my expertise. I can create a better experience by focusing on the listing of the property and getting the highest offer for the property that we're trying to get. And then I can refer the client to a buyer specialist like Meaghan when they're ready to purchase a new home. And then, you know, because we're working together, often we can coordinate a simple and seamless transition since we're both specialists in our field. And the cool thing is the team aspect doesn't stop at the buyer specialist and the listing specialist. We have a marketing and IT team that ensures listings are seen and generating interest. And we also have a concierge team. This concierge team helps clients and agents connect at the ideal time that it's best for the client. You know, Rick said, you know, want to create an unforgettable experience. This creates that unforgettable real estate experience that the client would be excited to tell a friend about.
Excellent. And Rick, you have multiple offices. You have them here in the Bay Area. Can you tell us where your offices are and how does having offices in multiple locations help you serve your clients better?
Sure. Well, we've got offices in Antioch, Concord, Richmond, Elk Grove, Sacramento. We're currently negotiating leases in Folsom and Roseville so that we can better serve our clients there. And that's really the heartbeat about it. It's not to have multiple offices or to pay utilities multiple times. The idea is that people don't want to work with somebody that doesn't know their community. So we have professionals that are knowledgeable about their community, that live in their community, that know the market, they know the school district, they know the taxes like Meaghan talked about, and they're able to give you that guidance because they live there. And so, but we also know that people don't want to work with two realtors. They don't want to work with a realtor to sell their home and then another realtor to buy their home in another community. And then all of a sudden they've got to coordinate and coordinate closings and timelines and wiring funds. And it's really problematic. So what happens is we get two specialists that are on the same team. We're one team, multiple locations. And that's Meaghan and Jimmy and Christina. That's how we were able to generate, we're nearly at 1,000 5-star reviews because our team members, as Jimmy said, they're not generalists, they're specialists. Tom Brady is a great quarterback, but I don't think he's going to do all that well as a lineman. And, you know, when we look at it, there are unique people that make a really good fit in certain roles. I think they're their God-given strengths and abilities. And we just get the right people on the team and we have them working on the right assignments, and together the customer benefits from that.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insight with us. And that's all the time we have for today. So thank you, Rick, Meaghan, and Jimmy for giving us this valuable information. I don't know any other agents who are partnering together to create the smooth transition from the Bay Area to up north. Rick, this was a brilliant idea, and I love that we're helping our clients this way. For anyone who has questions, you can go to cagreatmigration.com. I'll put that in the chat. And that's also where you can access our free ebook and just download that, and you'll have links to all the cities and all of our information. We're here to help you. I'll also put Jimmy and Meaghan's information in the chat and in the comments so that way you can contact them. Join us next week when Rick will share with us 3 things investors need to know right now to take advantage of this unique market. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, and we can't wait for you to join us next time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.